everyone, and thanks very much for coming back and joining me for another Retro Fridays, and I have got a great one for you. I think it's such a brilliant classic movie that never gets old, Groundhog Day. So let's just go straight ahead into the intro and let's get started. Groundhog Day is such a phenomenal movie, and this movie is about an hour and 40 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes long, and this movie was directed by Harold Ramis, who of course, you know, played Egon in Ghostbusters, and he was actually in this movie also as well as a neurologist. And I think this is a fantastic movie that Harold directed, and we have such a great cast. Of course, as the lead man of the show, the lead star of this movie, we have of course Bill Murray playing Phil, who is of course, you know, a weatherman in this movie. We also have Andie MacDowell as Rita, who of course is very much so, of course, as well alongside him, the lead role, lead actor in this movie. And of course Rita is the girl who he loves. He's always loved her since he first laid eyes on her, when he first seen her smile. He even said, you know, toward the end of the movie, so sweet, when he was lying beside her, I knew that from the first moment I seen you smile, I just wanted to hug you, and he knew that he loved her basically. We also hilariously have Chris Elliott, and I love him in the movie Scary Movie 2. Scary Movie 2, he plays a really creepy, like sleazeball butler. So if you haven't seen Scary Movie 2, you're probably like, I don't really know what you're talking about. But he's pretty much like a really sleazy, just, it's creepy as heck, but it's absolutely hilarious, Scary Movie 2. So Chris Elliott's in this. And for the life of me, when I see him now in this movie, it's just, all I can think of is the creepy butler he played in that movie. We also had in this movie Brian Doyle Murray, who played, you know, the boss in the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you know, the Griswold's his boss, right? And I honestly thought that it's so funny now seeing him in this movie, you know, because you're thinking of Christmas Vacation, and I absolutely love that movie. Get down to Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation. It's such a classic. And what's so funny is little Leonard from The Big Bang Theory, of course, was in that movie as his son. And we also had Rick Dukeman, who is, of course, in the classic Halloween movie. I see it as a Halloween movie anyways. I always watched it at Halloween. The Burbs, he's in The Burbs with Tom Hanks. Now, if you haven't seen The Burbs and you like comedy, and you like Tom Hanks and you like Rick Dukeman, then I would highly recommend, if you like comedy and stuff as well, to definitely check that out, because it's a good laugh to watch around October time, in my personal opinion anyway. Now the song I have to talk about, because of course, you know, we have this song relentlessly playing over and over again in the movie, I Got You Babe, I Got You Babe, by Sonny and Cher. And I love Sonny and Cher. And when I heard that song, when I always heard that song growing up, all I could think of was just, of course, Sonny and Cher. But then one day my dad said to me, and you're going to be shocked, I only seen this movie about 5 years ago. And I can remember I was sitting in like a DIY store having a cup of coffee with my dad, and my mum was there, and he was like, you ever seen, he said, it's just like Groundhog Day or whatever. And he was like, you know, like the movie. And I'm, sorry, what? And like, you know, the movie Groundhog Day? And like, never heard of it. What are you talking about? And he was like, you have never seen Groundhog Day? And he was like really going mad about it. So I couldn't believe I'd never knew that it was called Groundhog Day, but I had seen bits of it on on TV, if that makes sense. But I had never actually sat down and watched the whole thing, and I didn't know that it was actually called Groundhog Day, the one that I'd seen on and off on the TV. So anyways, right, when I watch this movie now, all I can think of is that song, I Got You Babe. And when I hear that song now, all I think of is Groundhog Day. So to me, this is the kind of movie that's a classic you can watch over and over time again. To me, the most perfect time to watch this is sort of winter-esque time. You know, it's got that sort of nice wintry, sort of a warm, cozy feel of a movie, and it's so romantic and it's so endearing and it's so beautiful. And basically this movie is about lead character Phil, the weatherman, played by lead star Bill Murray, and of course he is a weatherman, and there's this event that they have that their town believes in every year. They have a thing called Groundhog Day, hence the name of the movie. And this groundhog animal, they believe, you know, can predict how long the winter's gonna last, and of course he doesn't believe it. He thinks it's a load of nonsense, and he even jokes about it, you know. And he's just basically not very nice. Very similar to how his character is in Scrooged. So to me, this is very similar-esque to that movie, because just like Scrooged, you know, he's not a very nice person to his co-workers and colleagues and everything. And he's pompous, he's up his own ass, basically, and he needs to have a personality check. He needs to have a change in his life. So that's what I love about this movie, is that, of course, I'd seen Scrooged first, because I seen Scrooged from when I was really young. So seeing that movie many times, Bill Murray and Scrooged, and then seeing him playing Phil, this character in this movie, it's very similar, and I actually really like that. Like, some people might, oh, it's samey or whatever, but I actually really like that. And then how ironic, you know, afterwards, you know, when he's, you know, the whole groundhog prediction or whatever at the beginning of the movie, ironically he gets stuck in snow. It's like really heavy snow, and it's really snowing really thick and everything. And then basically he wakes up in a hotel room at 6 a.m. He's always waking up at 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. he wakes up and he realises, like, I think I'm having just a wee bit of a deja vu, because you would at first just think you're having deja vu. So then he goes downstairs, has a conversation with the girl that works downstairs, like, oh, it's going to be a blizzard outside, yada yada, and they're talking about the weather. And then he meets the same guy that he used to know, and like everybody he's speaking to, he's like, this happened yesterday. And then see him again, you know, it's Groundhog Day, and then the next day, see him again, 6 a.m. And then he's like, oh my gosh. So like, I think the third or fourth or fifth time or whatever, he gets a pencil. And this is when it gets the freakiest. I mean, I would be really freaking out. I wouldn't even know what to do in that instance, honestly. It would be horrifying. And it was crazy to watch. So you think if you were actually Phil and you were actually in that position, he gets a yellow pencil and he snaps it in half as a test, so that when he wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning in his hotel, if that pencil is still broken, then it could have just been a dream or whatever. But if it's put back together again, then, you know, and when you watch that time and time again, I still go to myself, whoa, what the frig? I would really be crapping myself if that happened. So anyways, and this just keeps happening over and over and over again. And you know, it's getting to him, it's tiring him, and he's trying it in different ways. He even tries to go against it. And it's quite funny, because he then goes down the railway tracks and he crashes his car, and he then says the police come over. I can't remember exactly what he says. He's like, oh, I'll have a couple of Cokes and some fries or something, or is it too early for fries or whatever. He's trying to, you know, do it in different ways to keep it, you know, in his mindset, to not go completely outright crazy. So then, of course, Rita, played by Andie MacDowell, she is fantastic in this. This movie has a fantastic cast. There's nobody in there that annoys me, or nobody in there that wasn't, you know, really talented at acting. And he has always loved her, basically. He really wants to be with her. So what he does is, because every day he has a fresh start, basically, in his mind, he was trying to get to know her even more, so that he could, you know, let her fall in love with him. But obviously she doesn't know that he's reliving the same day over and over again. And it's super funny, because he learns that she likes French poetry, you know, is her favourite drink, and then he orders her favourite drink on the rocks. Can't for the life of me remember what her favourite drink was, but it was something weird. I didn't recognise the drink anyway. I'll have it on the rocks or whatever. She's like, oh, that's my favourite drink. And he's like, she said the day before, I wish for world peace, or cheers to world peace or whatever. So of course the next day, you know, cute as you like, he's like, oh, I would like to, you know, towards world peace. So it's really funny because he really just wants to allow her to fall in love with him, basically. And the first time I watched this, I thought, oh, I see where this is going. I know where this is going. I reckon that what's going to happen, and maybe it was obvious, but I reckon what's going to happen, and I was going, oh, I really want to know what's going to happen, but I wonder, is it that it takes like a love spell, basically, or, you know, however way you want to put it, as cheesy as that sounds, that once she loves him, that will break the spell, and that he also, and as well as that, coincidentally, is that even a word? Coincidentally, no, I don't think it is. Julie, shut up. Anyways, I think as well alongside that, that he has to have a personality change as well, because as I said earlier, he really needs to put his personality in check. So both of those together would break it. And I was right the first time I watched this. And I thought, oh, that is so adorable. And there's so many amazing, cute and beautiful romantic moments. Like the part where they were underneath, I don't know what you would call it. I've never seen them here, but it's like a part anyway, right? And they were kind of sheltered, and it was snowing, and there was these lovely drapes and curtains and everything, and they were just dancing, and it was just absolutely romantic. I think one of the most emotional parts was when he said to her, no matter what happens, all I know is that I'm happy in this moment. And when he carved her face out of ice, I just find this movie so intriguing and so gosh darn interesting, because he lived the same day so many, a massive amount of times, to the point that he actually stood and watched someone doing ice sculptures of the groundhogs. So he knew exactly to find out how to do it, to the point where, God love him, he made an ice sculpture of Rita's face. He made an ice sculpture of Rita's face. And that kind of reminds me of the emotional part of Edward Scissorhands when he makes the sculpture of her. Oh, just, I don't even know, guys. I'm not even gonna, it does make me tear up a bit, this movie. I have to be honest. It definitely does. It definitely does. Because all he wants is her. And, you're going to yourself, when you're watching it, like, he even gets to the point where he is constantly killing himself time and time again, but even killing himself doesn't work. Like, think of that, guys. He jumps in front of a bus, he drives his car off like a cliff, he also in front of Rita, and he also tried to kill himself in the bath, although that was kind of funny because he left the toast in the toaster before he put it into the bath, and I don't know why, but I find that funny. And things like that, it's so sad, and I actually feel so much sorrow for that character and so much sympathy and empathy for his character, more than a lot of characters in movies, actually. And I actually truly felt for the guy. Like, I actually remember, like, sitting there in tears and going, oh, God love him. And you actually get into that moment where you forget you're watching the movie, and you, as the viewer, me anyway, as the viewer, actually genuinely felt like I was in Groundhog Day myself. And you're sitting going to yourself, like, imagine how that would feel. You go, oh gosh, that would be awful. And I was constantly sitting talking to myself and going, oh, God love him. Like, he's trying to kill himself again, and there he is trying to kill himself again, and he wakes up again, 6 a.m. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. And the first time he told her, he kept trying to tell her, and then eventually she believed him, because he was telling her, oh, I know this about you, I know your favourite drink, I know your favourite poetry, and yada yada. And she finally believed him, and she felt sorry for him. And then she fell asleep with him one night, and I thought, oh no, I really hope she's going to be there the next morning. And she wasn't. But at the end of the movie she was. And oh my gosh, he looked outside and there was snow, and he was so happy, and he was like, are you really here? Are you really here? And then of course she bought him at an auction thing the night before, and she was going, I bought you. You're mine, I own you. And oh my gosh, I could cry even thought of it. That was beyond romantic. Beyond romantic. And funny bits that I want to talk about would have been, like, the way he knew everything that was happening, and he stopped and he was watching just people live their lives, basically, and he remembered the day before that the girl fixed her bra, and he went, fix your bra. I just thought that was hilarious. And then when he really started to lose it was when one of the times, at least, because they've done a lot, the snowman they were building a snowman, and these kids come over and they're throwing snowballs and everything, and he loses it, and he's all like laughing and all. He's like, ha 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 ha, are any of you kids up for adoption? You're like, oh my gosh, like that just sounds so weird. That's hilarious. And also the funniest part for me in the whole entire film was when, you know, they were, you know, getting a bit, you know, romantic, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And he said to her, she was all like, no, I don't think we should, or something. I can't remember what he said. And then he says, but I've got some French poetry here. And I bust out laughing every time. It's just so random, because he knows that she likes French poetry, because he learned that from living the same day over and over. He's like, but I've got some French poetry here. And stuff like, oh, that'll get you in the mood, Rita. Absolutely hilarious. And then he goes here, Rocky Road. Oh, it's so funny. But one thing that I want to say that I can't remember whether I said it at the start of this video, to be honest, guys. My memory is of literally a goldfish. Honest to goodness, somebody should just nickname me Julie the Goldfish, because like my memory's terrible. But maybe I'm having Groundhog Day. Did I say this at the beginning of the video? I can't remember, right? Basically, Harold Ramis directed a movie called Bedazzled, right? And I would love to actually do that as a Retro Friday. So if any of you would be interested, you can let me know. And like, what a legend he was, like, and he did so many great funny movies, directed so many, and worked on so many funny movies, and was in funny movies too. And to be honest, I just think this is an all-round great movie. You know, it's just a great story. It's a movie that's under just 2 hours, but you don't even feel like you're watching it for 2 hours, because it's so enjoyable. You've got so much laughter, so much hilarity, and you know, Bill Murray is great in comedy. That's what he's great at. And you know, you've so many great you know, it doesn't really need that many characters in this movie, because you know, it is solely really based on Rita and Phil, basically. And in the end, you know, he does change and she falls in love with him, and that's all it needed for him to stop going through all that. But you have to think, I don't think ever again he would wake up normal. He would probably still be always waking up like 4, 5, 6, 7 years later thinking, is she still here? Am I still here? Pinch myself. You know, you definitely would. I don't think things would ever be right again, but he, you know, he didn't care. He was just so happy to wake up beside Rita, and what a beautiful ending. That's how you do a good movie. This is fantastic writing, fantastic script, fantastic directing, fantastic cast, and just what a beautiful movie this is, guys. Honestly, it really is. And I apologise, because I'm going to have to go now, because I have a bus to catch in like 10 minutes. And then when I get back, I'll be like straight out again to go and see Sonic. So either later tonight or tomorrow, I will come on and possibly do a live stream. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided yet on my review of Sonic. Otherwise, it'll just be like a normal kind of daily, you know, video. But thanks for coming along for another Retro Fridays. You have no idea how much I enjoy doing these, guys, honestly. And it really means the world to me for all of you for coming along. You know, whether you can make it every week or not doesn't matter to me. If you come to one once a month, you know, I know everybody has lives and everybody's busy at the end of the day, guys. And you can always watch it on the replay. So that is me finished for this Retro Fridays anyways. And I will see you really soon with my honest thoughts on the movie Sonic. Thank you so much for coming, and I will speak to you soon. And until then, don't forget that the Force will be with you always. Bye, guys.